Welcome back to another episode of Built Tough Banter. I'm Lexi.
And I'm Danny.
And today we're going to talk about our most recent community service project that we've been working on with the Carolina Rebuilding Ministry. Danny, before we dive into the details on this project, let's hit on why community service is so important to BDC.
At its foundation, I feel like the owners of BDC have really entrenched themselves in the communities that they live. Going back to Goldsboro, more specifically Rosewood, Rocky Mount, and then Burlington area. That I feel like it's always been important to them to give back and to participate. And it's not always an act of donating money, but it's also donating time and finding different reasons and different ministries or different groups to participate with. I don't think it's ever been something where it's just a set, we only just do this organization, but whatever they come across. I remember our mom would always be really involved with the guidance counselors at our high school and find families of need of at Christmas time, and I can't wait to do it with my kids, but we'd find families that could use the help for Christmas presents, and we'd show up on Christmas Eve with a bunch of presents, and I know that's made a lasting impact on our lives.
For sure.
And I hope to be able to do the same, and will do the same for my kids. But so I think it's more than just for BDC. A lot of those things were done without any recognition. There wasn't no newspaper article about it, and because of that, it is important at the Builders Discount Center to do things as well. So we are for the community. We're in small communities. We're in rural Eastern North Carolina, and we feel like we offer our communities a price point, very good price, good service, good material, building supply option that they're not stuck with whatever the big box store might have. And the big box store has its place too, but we feel like we're able to come in and get involved at the school level and be a big booster club member and donate materials to our schools and our communities. But also we really like the opportunity to take advantage of organizations, like you just partnered with, and do a little extra. Right.
And I wanted to talk about the Carolina Rebuilding Ministry, and I wanted to read their mission statement because I feel like it's a pretty strong one and really tells about who they are. The Carolina Rebuilding Ministry puts faith into action by providing home repairs for low-income homeowners in northeastern North Carolina counties of Bertie, Chowan, and Washington by making homes stronger, safer, and healthier, and providing transformational experiences for volunteers. And it truly was a really good experience for, we had two different teams from different store locations, but the Carolina Rebuild is more involved with our Williamson store specifically. And with that, they've found us more than we found them. Originally, they were shopping at the big box stores. Chris, that leads these projects, obviously, they're doing about 60 homes annually, and on these projects, they're all donation-based, so every penny matters for these, so they can put it towards,
future projects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when they found us, they realized that there were a significant amount of savings there, and since then, they've really stuck with us for buying all the materials, and then of course, if we don't have something, they go back to the big box stores. But he really hit on when we got there, we got to walk around and see their home base, which is actually, thought this was pretty cool. It's in a old rundown school that's not used in the community anymore. And they set it up almost as like a bunkhouse. So they use the cafeteria they have a person that's there to cook for, it's all volunteers that are coming in to do all the work. So
where are the volunteers coming? Are they local, or is it members from all over coming to participate?
From all over. There's some local, but we were grouped with a group from Pennsylvania that was going to be here for 2 weeks. So there's bunks in the school.
Wow.
Yeah, they're wanting to use where an old field was, like a baseball field in the back. They're going to try to have it set up because a lot of people bring RVs or campers to stay out there for a while. So it's pretty cool to see something that was just run down and not being used anymore go to a great cause, and to bring it back to life in a way. It's all like decorated in the inside with different pictures and scriptures. It was cool to see that side of the project before we went into the actual home buildings.
Yeah. So when you talked about the Carolina Rebuild Ministry, them finding us, shopping with us a little bit more. How did you go about, somewhat partnering with them in donating, not just on material and trying to save them money there, but also given, the time. And then, we had 2 groups of employees from different locations. I know when I was trying to pick them, I talked to a lot of those individuals, and I wanted it to mean something to them. I didn't want them to feel like they had to go, volunteer their time, even though we were technically still paying them to do it.
Right.
I wanted it to touch them and mean something to them and find those individuals. How did you go about coordinating that and on that first project? Right.
Just through the Williamson store, had, seen about the Carolina Rebuilding, asked questions just in regards to really what it is. Spoke with Jonathan, the manager there, to get a little bit more details as far, and he got me in touch with Chris. And then I reached out to Chris to get a better understanding. We talked for about 45 minutes to an hour on the first call, just got a deep dive of Carolina Rebuilding Ministry, and thought it was something great for us to be a part of. And hopefully, with this collaboration that we have going on, I'm hoping that we can do something, once a year to get a group out there. I think it's a great way too for our employees. We're getting to see our products come to life. I know when we were there, they do a lot with mobile homes. So with all of our inventory with that, we're able to provide materials. And then we also did cabinets, install our countertops. And
so was this project at one home basically, or what did that entire project entail?
Yep. So we were working at 2 different homes. So our groups were broken up into 2 different groups. So one was a complete bathroom remodel. So we did, as far as getting the OSB put in, we did the subfloor, some flooring, and then they did shower surround and a tub. So that was a pretty tedious project just because the space that we were working in was small, and there was a lot of sheets that we were having to cut, and unfortunately ended up downpouring when we were there. So
gave you the full contractor experience.
Exactly. No tent. So we had to try to get the material inside, dry it off to be able to cut. It was definitely a learning experience on that end. And then at the other home, it was our pre-finished white cabinets, our countertops, and then our new WinCore windows.
Oh, cool. Okay. So one home, new bathroom, the other home, windows, and basically new kitchen. So, how does it go about, and this might be getting a little bit into the weeds on their end, but how do they find out about the families and the homes that need to be, need the help? Right.
I think the homeowners can reach out to the ministry to say, hey, we are in need, but then also that people can, say that, hey, a family member of mine, more like on like the anonymous side. But one of the houses that we were in, it was in pretty bad shape, and it really is humbling and makes you feel appreciative of the things that you see. I'd never been personally to a volunteering experience that the people that lived there were actually in the house while they were in and out while we were there. You walk in and you see a 3-year-old and in the bedroom that they're living in doesn't even have carpet. It's just the subfloor. It really made you appreciate it. But he also added a good vibe to our day. He would come in and check in on us.
Was he bossing you guys around?
Exactly, and wanted screwdrivers. But that was definitely more eye-opening experience to see that, and you got to see firsthand who you were helping. And I think a lot of our team members that were there afterwards, we were talking before we left for the day, and it was one of those things where we weren't expecting it, but it was really, we were glad that we did it after.
Yeah, I saw some pictures, and you may have some, but a couple individuals having to go up underneath and do some work, some crawl space work underneath the trailer. And I don't know if they sign up for that every day at BDC, but it didn't seem to all be real easy. Yeah, there he is.
Jarrett, yeah.
He's smiling there, but he probably wasn't smiling the whole time. But
that's right.
When you are doing it for a family, it's one thing when you don't see that personal relation on who you're helping, but when you do show up and you can immediately see the family and the little kid who's will benefit from it, that has to go a long ways.
For sure. Yeah, Jarrett had to go under the house, and so did Brian, and Brian's a tall guy, so he was like, they asked if anyone else could go under, and he was like, I'll do it, but he was like, it depends on how big the space is. And we did do a little fix on a roof boot up there. It was in really bad condition. We actually, because it was raining so hard that day, that's how we noticed the leak. Yeah. So we went up and did a temporary fix on that till we could get some new material for it. But it was really cool. Chris definitely has a good operation going, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, we love partnering, I feel like, with organizations that we're familiar with and understand. It's hard to determine which ones to partner with and not, and it's hard to say no to any. If they're all doing good deeds. I know there's several churches, especially Shop with the Goldsboro store, that build handicap ramps for individuals who have just all of a sudden need a handicap ramp, and that always just feels right to reach out and help. But when you have the relationship from them shopping with you, and you're hearing their stories throughout the year on what they're working on, to be able to partner with an organization, like Carolina Rebuilding Ministry, but we've also done work with others. Are you looking or finding other opportunities to maybe get some other stores and other areas involved? Yeah,
wanting to, for sure. And I think, Habitat for Humanity, that's a huge one. It, of course, fits right into our market and what we do, our industry. And the thing that is sometimes easier about a organization like that is that there are so many locations. So no matter where our stores are and how spread out they are, that those are also there in the areas as well. So I think continuing to get strongly involved with Habitat will be good for us. And then I know there's some pictures where I believe from where we did the Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Glenn and his family did with his church right here. And that's where they build twin size beds for kids that have never had a bed before. And that hits really hard.
Yeah. If you know us at all, we wear our emotions on our sleeve anyways. You start talking about kids and helping, just something as simple as providing a bed for them to sleep in. That'll take and put a lot of things in perspective. But that's a great project. I know that it's going on in Rocky Mount fairly often, and we try and get involved in that. As well.
The Rocky Mountain store donated the materials for it for that day. How
many beds was it? Was it 300 or something? I heard.
I think it was it was over 100. I know for sure, which was really cool. And then I'm trying to think with Habitat. It's been a little bit. We obviously a lot more involved in Goldsboro. Mom was really good one for from getting that going. But like I said, I think we should definitely get that back up and going. Gets our employees involved with the community, because you never know who you can meet and make an impact on. And it's always good. Like we said, we like to have good people working for us. So why not have them out with the community?
Yeah. It's, anytime you're doing something like that, you really don't know what the final story is going to be and the final impact's going to be. And it may just be a good day, but it may inspire whoever participates in that to be a better person or to do more, more volunteering and more if it goes from that to then mentoring someone. There's all types of opportunities to help our communities. And, we've always had the little Builders Discount Center soccer teams, if we have some employees who has a little kid playing soccer,
Right.
but it is important to do more than just
Putting a logo
or a sign up. So I know I've talked with each person who participated in this Carolina Rebuilding Ministry, and it seemed to make an impact on them. So looking forward to see what else we can do.
I know. And I did want to say that, the BDC's family heart goes out to everyone in Western North Carolina that was affected by the devastation out there. And we did, of course, the Burlington store is our farthest west store, but we've been collecting supplies at each of our store locations to go out there, as well as had a full truckload of water bottles go out. So it ended up being about 33,000 water bottles that we were able to donate out there, and hope to continue to stay involved as this whole process is going to be a very long rebuild.
Yeah. Everything you read and hear is, everyone floods, probably shouldn't use that term. Everyone wants to help immediately, but it's going to be a long-lasting. They need long-lasting relief. So we're going to look to continue to keep collecting those materials. We asked all of our stores to be a hub for collecting, and then find local organizations within their town that are going out there and supplying. We wanted to, the bigger name organizations, they're helping, but there's also so many churches and local organizations that are wanting to help. And so we've partnered with those in each of our towns and are going to continue collecting, supplies. But it's not something that, in a month later, it's going to be back to normal. It's going to have to be a long lasting, relief effort. And we are, it's such a devastating event that it's really hard to comprehend. I was supposed to be there this weekend. Or this coming weekend, and the idea that there's almost nothing, nothing there where we were going, it just is mind blowing. But hopefully, with the relief efforts, and they can somewhat get back to a sustainable, way of life out there.
Right. And I think that's something that I appreciate about North Carolina, or just, where we're from as a whole, is like seeing all the people truly come together to support one another, no matter, if it's just what's happened in Western North Carolina or anything else. I feel like we're surrounded by so many good people in all these small towns that we're located, that it's amazing to see what people are willing to do for each other.
Yeah, you hear the term, they'll give you their shirt off their back, but you find that in Eastern North Carolina, and you find it in the towns we're in, and good salt of the earth, just good people, and it's sad that it sometimes takes a horrible event for our communities to pull together, but it is uplifting to see it when it happens.
That's for sure. Well, we appreciate you guys for listening to another episode, and we look forward to hearing from you again.